Peace, everybody. Welcome to Capital Combat. Name says it all. I'm Hakeem Branch.
Roger.
And today, we're going to preview this Saturday's Showtime Championship Boxing, which is another triple header. We got Deontay Wilder in a stay busy fight versus Jason Gavin. We've got Sakio Bika versus Anthony Dirrell in a rematch for Sakio Bika's super middleweight title belt. And then we've got Kell Brook and Sean Porter in a title fight for Sean Porter's belts. Now, we expect two of these fights to be pretty darn good and competitive fights. Well, in my mind, one. Maybe two for Rob. But, of course, like I said, Deontay Wilder showcase. Take it away, Rob.
Okay. Deontay Wilder showcase. He should be knocking Jason Gavin out within 4 rounds with a mean right to the face. I mean, I don't have anything. It's a stay busy fight. Gavin is sort of tough, but I don't think he's going to be tough enough to withstand that power.
And that's the whole question. How long can he stand up? Because this is probably one of the better fights for Deontay Wilder. But as we have seen, he's still putting people to sleep. So he's just waiting until they make that Stavern fight. So he wanted to keep busy. Shout outs to him for doing that. On to the next one. In the next fight, we have Sakio Bika and Anthony Dirrell, who is the brother of Andre Dirrell, who just returned back from a God knows how long layoff. But Anthony is fighting a rematch versus Sakio Bika, in which the first fight was a draw. It was a really tough fight for both guys, and I think we did cover that fight. I don't really remember when it happened, but I do remember covering it. And I think from what I remember, Dirrell started off fast. Bika started to catch up with him, and then he kind of finished a little bit better. This time, he's going to have to fight a complete 12-round fight in order to walk away with the belt. Unfortunately for him, he's in with one of the toughest guys in the 168-pound division. He gave trouble to everyone he's fought that I've seen, from Joe Calzaghe, who's one of the best 168-pounders there have been in the history of the division, to the current top dog, Andre Ward. So, like I said, Dirrell is going to have to fight a perfect fight in order to walk away with this belt.
My thing is more so the attitude of Dirrell. Dirrell has good boxing ability. I don't think he's a better boxer than Andre Dirrell, but Anthony does have really good boxing pedigree. The only thing is, I think mentally he can be drawn into an ugly fight, which is right up Sakio Bika's alley. Sakio Bika hits you anywhere and everywhere that a glove can reach. And Dirrell, who is a better boxer, can be drawn into that, and he can be very wild. Almost like you flip a switch and he goes from boxer to brawler. Now, he is tough, but as you probably seen in the last fight, it turned ugly.
Yeah.
And what Bika's going to take advantage of all that ugliness, and he's just going to draw him into the fight that he wants. I think Anthony Dirrell needs to stay mentally tough and stick with his boxing ability, because he was landing a lot of shots on Bika. Well, Bika has great stamina. He's physically strong, as all be damned. So he's going to make it a 12-round fight. It's up to Anthony Dirrell to stick with his boxing ability, using that jab, fighting from the inside, and taking advantage when he steps in with those combinations. Because if he gets caught in there too long, Bika's going to throw that 1 or 2 punches that is going to hurt.
Or he may body slam him.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. So that is really the question of this fight. Can Dirrell, who we believe is the better boxer of the two, fight a disciplined enough fight to walk away with the belt? The first time it was debatable. This time he has to leave no doubt as to who wins the fight. So that is what we're going to be looking for in Dirrell versus Bika. Now, we got Kell Brook coming across the pond, and this isn't his first time, is it? I mean, I've watched Kell Brook for a while, but I don't think he's been over to the States yet.
I don't think he has either. He was supposed to several times. It just never happened.
Right. He was supposed to fight Devin Alexander, and the person he's fighting Saturday, Sean Porter, stepped in because he pulled out with an injury. Now, I'm going to let Rob go ahead.
Okay, so this is going to be a boxer in Kell Brook, who I think is very athletic. I think he has good speed, but it's kind of like, I don't think he's as mentally tough. And not only that, I think he does a lot of things well, but nothing great. Against a guy like Porter, who is about as strong and as tough as they come. He doesn't hit as cleanly as people would like, but he hits hard as hell. And you can see that in the Malignaggi fight, where Malignaggi just took some hellacious shots, and the ones that landed flush put him down. And Malignaggi's is extremely tough. And he
fought with a broken face versus Miguel Cotto. So
and he just couldn't weather that storm. And Porter is extremely athletic. He used to play football. He's short, but he's very stocky. So Kell Brook's not going to be able to muscle him. He's fighting a guy that's just as athletic, maybe not the same skill set or as polished, but he's explosive. He gets a little ahead of himself when he punches, but can Brook take that pressure? I think he's going to start boxing well in the first few rounds, but then I just think Porter's going to just amp it up just that extra notch, and he's just going to overwhelm Brook.
I don't feel that way. I think Kell Brook is about to get that work from Sean Porter. We talked about it earlier. That's what Rob said to me. And I said, you have a point. Kell Brook is, pretty good. But I don't think you go life and death with the Carson Joneses of the world twice and expect to make it through somebody like Sean Porter.
He cannot fall asleep at the wheel. Not in this one.
Sean Porter is better in every way than Carson Jones. And if you guys have been watching the show for a while, you know I wasn't the highest on him. He has grown on me immensely. And I really think that he's about to really put a stamp on the welterweight division with this performance. People are on notice of him, but they're really going to be put on notice after this one. Like Carson Jones was one of those guys. He's rough. He's a rough and tumble guy. He's going to be in your face all night. Sean Porter is as well, but the way he does it is totally different. He kind of has that in and out style like Manny Pacquiao does, so his footwork is highly underrated. He's going to use that to confuse Brook as far as his boxing skill, and I think that's why I don't think it's going to last more than 5 rounds. I think that Sean Porter will take him out before round 5.
I think it's going to go 6. Like I said, I think Kell Brook is going to start kind of sharp, and I just think Sean Porter by round 3 is just going to overwhelm him. I think it's just going to be a swarm of hard punches. Yeah. I just said he was going to start off well. I never said that it was going to last.
All right. So Rob thinks it's going to last
6 rounds.
I think that it's going to be all Sean Porter from the bell. From the first bell, round 1, Sean Porter, whoop ass, cans of it being dumped on Kell Brook. But it's up to Kell Brook to go out there and show us that all the trash that he's been talking for years about wanting to fight Amir Khan and wanting to fight all these big names is warranted. And a win over Sean Porter will do the exact same thing that I said that I believe Sean Porter is going to do to him. If he beats him in any way, shape, or form, it's a statement in the welterweight division. Like, hey, I'm here, and y'all got to deal with me. Because right now, a lot of people are ignoring him, especially because of like the whole Carson Jones situation. People like, oh, this guy can't be that good. He also had trouble with Sinchenko, who Malignaggi cut his face to pieces, boxed circles around him, and made him look real bad. And like I said, he did well in spots, but as Rob said, he fell asleep at the wheel and got hurt later on in the fight before getting the stoppage. So if he can beat Sean Porter, this is a big time statement for Kell Brook. So if he does, we gotta tip our hats off to him, give him his props, respect him, and see what happens next. So looking forward to that fight. It should be entertaining either way it goes. So if you guys have anything to say, hit us up in the comments section. You can hit us up on Facebook, Capital Combat, Google Plus, same name. You can hit us up in our email, capitalofcombat@gmail.com. Either way, we'll get back to you. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.
This is round one, and you've already lost. They don't seem to see that everything we've done is coming and gone. My fists are on fire. I perform till I perspire. My demons are in a rage. Keep thinking that it's a game. I kick crime, hurricane. I told them I don't play. I'm liquid.
Black Street Fighter.